Hello friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Bahroz, and in today's video I will talk about why is it that you are not able to land your dream job. So much so that you don't even get invited for an interview. You are applying for thousands and hundreds of jobs which come online, maybe on LinkedIn, on other resources, but you are not landing even an interview. All you get is repeated rejection. And this is just making you frustrated, demotivated, and you're feeling that you're not getting anywhere and that you won't be able to land the job that you want, and hence it is not working out for you. This is exactly what I will talk about in this video. Why is this happening? And then I will talk about how you can solve this problem. So the only reason, and there is just one reason, the only reason this is happening is because you are applying for too many jobs, for too many roles. You are not focused. Yes, it may sound strange, which is, well, I'm applying for too many jobs. Is it a bad thing? Yes, it is a bad thing. Applying for too many jobs is a bad thing. And when I say too many, I mean like applying for 2 or 3 jobs per day. That's a lot. You should be applying 2 or 3 jobs per week. That is more like targeted, more focused. Now, why is it bad to apply for too many jobs? One, you may not be relevant for like 80% of the jobs when you're applying for, which is your skill set is a structured, is a focused skill set, right? You have certain skills, you have certain education, degree and qualification. That doesn't apply to all the jobs that are out there. But what you're doing is, for instance, if I'm in finance, wherever I see finance, I just start applying for those jobs. While in finance as well, there are areas and there are scopes, or there are certain specifications where you have to be more detailed or more relevant. So for instance, I am in finance, but I am more in commercial finance. In finance, there is also accounting. In finance, there is also operations finance, sales finance, logistics finance. There are so many other finance sub-functions as well. Am I relevant for all those jobs? No. But I see finance and I just go applying everywhere. And that only happens, like the only way you can be applying for so many jobs is just because you are not seeing the relevancy, whether you are relevant for the job or not, and you are just blanket applying for everything that you see. This is a wrong approach, and I'll talk more about it. The second piece is, as one, you're not relevant, but the second piece is there is also competition. It's not just you who is applying for a job. So when I apply for a non-commercial finance role, let's say I apply for a operations finance role, because I think finance, I have an idea. I've seen how operations finance work, or maybe I've done one assignment here and there in my total career, but majority of my career is commercial finance. But here I am applying for an operations finance role. There could be an individual who is applying for sure who has operation finance experience. And the reason I say for sure is because there are less jobs in the market. There are more people who are applying. So in any case, there will be more relevant people who would be applying for that role, which is not the most relevant for you. So one, it is not relevant for you. So you may get a rejection just because it's not relevant. And second, there are so many other candidates who have applied who are more relevant, and hence out of the pool of candidate, the hiring manager goes like and says, okay, I don't need to call in 20 people for interview. I can just call in these 3 people who are most relevant for an interview, because interview is also a cost of time and resources for the organization. So they don't want to go through interviewing 10 people or 20 people for you to think, oh, if I just get that one chance and if I'm in the interview, I will ace the interview. Well, you won't get to the interview because you applied for a wrong job, which is not relevant for you. It's not relevant, and there is more competition. Now, what this does is it makes you demotivated and you feel like, oh, I'm not able to get the job, and now you are less confident. So next time when you land an interview as well, out of the 100 jobs that you've applied, there is one interview call that comes in and you are all now even more demotivated, and you're like, maybe I'll get this job or I won't get this job. So you lose all the confidence that you need for you to ace that interview. I rather you apply for 3 jobs. Those are the most focused ones, and hence have less responses saying, oh, thank you for applying, but there were better candidates. Well, they were better candidates because the job was less relevant for you. So that is another thing. And last thing is, when you apply for hundreds of jobs or multiple jobs, like 2, 3, 4 jobs per day, you use a lot of time as well. It's time consuming, it's energy consuming. So you get demotivated just because you're putting in a lot of effort, you're putting in a lot of time, and it is taking a lot from the rest of the things that you could have done. Maybe you're currently working. You're working in a job already. You're looking for a job outside, and now you have to apply for 3 or 4 roles every day. Well, that takes time because you have to tailor your resume. You have to maybe tailor your messaging. You have to apply. You have to fill those forms, which are time consuming. They're cumbersome. And hence all of that takes energy from you or takes time from your day. So this is all why I wanted to say it's bad. It's bad to apply for multiple jobs or a lot of jobs. Now, what is the solution? Well, the solution is obvious. The solution is that you apply for limited roles, but the ones which are most relevant to you. The ones where you go like, this is the role where I have more than 80% chance of getting called for an interview. Well, now you may be questioning, well, Behrouz, when I apply for 100 of jobs, or let's say I apply for 4 jobs a week, let's say I've applied for 50 jobs in per week. One of those jobs should be the one where I'm relevant. Now I understand 49 jobs out of 50, I'm not relevant. I shouldn't have applied, but I applied already. Or in any case, I applied. But there is this 50th job that I also applied where I'm most relevant, but I did not get a response. So what you're telling me is reduce the number of job applications you have. Well, I see a risk that if I apply less, there will be even less chances of me getting a response. So here is my response to that. The issue is that one job which was relevant and you did apply out of the 50 jobs, because you were applying for 50 jobs, you didn't give it enough time. You didn't put enough energy in it because you have limited time and energy in a day, and you divide it on 50 jobs in a week. As against what I'm saying is you should divide it on 6 or 7 jobs at best, or even less per week. Now you are more engaged, you have more energy, you have more time to engage on that particular role. Well, now the question is, well, I just need to fill the form. What do you mean by having more time and more energy to engage in a job? What do you mean by engaging in the job? Well, applying online does not help. That's one of the, it's needed, but it does nothing. It's just like another 100 people applying for that particular role. So what is that you need to do? You need to pick that one role where you're most relevant, but don't just apply. So apply online, fill the form, but here the real work begins after applying, or maybe even before applying. You have to look for someone in that organization and see who is in your circle or in that organization who can help forward your resume, because the hiring manager will be receiving hundreds of resumes. Out of those 100 resumes, 20 would be relevant as well, including yours. But now he or she has 20 resumes which are just pieces of paper, and he's trying to guess whether I should call this particular person or not. And there is a lot of luck that plays here now, because you are not putting in that extra effort. And maybe there are 4 or 5 individuals who are putting in that extra effort, where they're finding a network who can help them forward their resume within the organization to the right person, to the right desk. So here, there are 2 ways of doing it. One, you look around in your circle of friends, colleagues, whoever it is, and see who can help you pass on your resume to a particular person in that particular organization. If they work there, if they know someone there, that is one way of doing it. If you don't know anyone, then the smartest way of going about this is maybe use LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn and see which people in that organization are working that you can relate to. By relate to, I mean either they worked in organization you worked before, they are from the same city, country, culture as you are, speak the same language, same color skin, or they went to the same college, played same sport, something or the other, even if you've not met them, but you can relate to them. Because what you want to do is you want to write to them a cold message, telling them how you relate to them, and then asking them a favor of them passing your resume forward. The best approach that I have here is first try to send a connection request to that particular individual on LinkedIn. That kind of shows whether they would be responsive or not. So what I'm trying to tell you here is how you can improve your chances of getting a response. Rather, first is you figure out whether you relate to them or not. So find someone who you relate to, as I said. Then this increases the chances of you getting a response. Then you send them a connection. If they accept the connection, well, that means this is a person you can relate to. This is a person who's already accepted your invite. Now, all you need to do is send them a cold message. And now here you send them a cold message. Now, the cold message should say something like, hey, I'm reaching out in reference to my previous role in the company that you also work. And now I'm looking to advance in my career. And there's an opportunity in your particular company, which I believe you can help me with by passing on my resume to the right person or the right desk or the right individual. Or it could be, hey, I'm from the same college. I see you're from the same college as I am, and while we never met, I'm reaching out to you, sending a cold message, and the request I have is that there is a role or an opening in your particular organization, and I request if you can pass on my resume to a relevant desk or person, and that would be an immense help. So something on those lines, write to them, and now the chances of you getting a response are very high. They can relate to you, they've accepted your invite, well, they would be ready to help you. Similarly, for instance, one trick that I made use of when I moved to Canada was I would look for someone with my same color race, which is they come from South Asia, but they've not been in Canada for very long. They're also recent immigrants. Like they've been in Canada for 4 or 5 years. So they've settled, they have a job, and I was new. So I knew they went through the same struggle. South Asian coming to Canada, immigrating to Canada, looking for a job, kind of same struggle that I went through. So when I send them a cold message, when I send them an invite, there is high acceptance. They accept my invite and they are ready to help because they see me as what they were a few years ago, and they are more ready to help, more accepting to help here. And you need that person inside the organization who passes on your resume. Just applying online would not help, will not get you the job. Hopefully guys, this was helpful. What this trick will do is get you an interview. And what happens for the interview? Well, I have multiple videos on my channel. You can check them out. But if you're interested in getting trained for a interview that you want to ace, well, what you can do is you can book a session using the link that I will leave in the description of this video. Best of luck for your job search. Thank you.